Hey, we're Stonebrother, and we're giving you the behind-the-scenes look at the songs from our new album, New World Incorporated. This time we're going to be taking a look at Cold Day in Hell, the second track on that album. And this is one that really came from your brain and life experiences, isn't it?
Indeed, it was largely based off of a real-life experience with a most unfortunate roommate pairing at university. It happens. We've all been there. Yeah, and it was sort of the story of internal conflict and the sentiment of you're not gonna get one up on me. So that's where it started with that line. It'll be a cold day in hell before you get the best of me.
Yeah, and it's been kind of great that we've been able to take that very specific story and sort of broaden it a little bit to just sort of mean don't be that guy.
Indeed.
Which has slowly become the unofficial mantra of this band.
And beyond. I've been using that for everything forever.
Yeah.
Don't be that guys. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, and it's don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. I'm just specifically talking about that.
It's pretty much the best advice that you can give anybody. Don't be that guy, because it can mean anything in the world.
Applies to a lot of situations.
Yeah, and this is not the first time that we've released this song.
It's not.
For those of you who've been around for a while.
This is the deep cuts now.
May recall we released this one. This would have been, what, 2022 or so?
Ish.
Yeah, a few years ago anyway. At Fang is where we recorded that one.
Yeah.
Joel Plaskett's studio on Portland Street.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun to do.
It was.
But and my favorite part about that one actually comes from after we had it recorded and we were getting ready to release it, when we were getting the artwork for it ready, because the single artwork that the wonderful Emerson Barnes did for us this time leaps and bounds better than what we had last time. Because it wasn't a drawing or anything. If I can find the original image, I'll sort of throw it up here in the video, and this is what I use to remind myself to do stuff. It's like, hey, stupid, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a photo that I took with the help of my best friend and our band photographer Chase, posing as our model of that guy. And so we were just sort of in Dartmouth Crossing, hanging around the shops, and we were at this one building, and he was just sort of like gesticulating and pointing and yelling at a bunch of stuff just to sort of like emphasize the crude nature of that guy a little bit, but it's just something wasn't quite working for it. And so I took a couple steps back thinking, alright, maybe if I get some more space in the shot it'll make a bit more sense. And as I took a couple steps back, I looked up at the building and went, wait a second, and I saw the building that we were at, unrealized by either of us, had this massive rectangular frame right on the side with nothing in it. And I thought, that would be perfect to put the band name in right there.
Yeah.
So I just sort of got him to take a few steps to the left, and it worked.
Yeah.
Suddenly it went from empty and vacant to an actually kind of cool picture. Yeah, but the recording process at Fang was also a lot of fun. But I let's be honest, we had a lot of fun doing it at Sonic.
Oh yeah, they were both great experiences.
Oh, yeah.
I think the difference is our development as a band.
Pretty much.
We were younger when we were at Fang, and we had a little more experience when we were at Sonic.
Yeah.
And we had production too. That's the
definitely.
difference. I mean, like Lil was acting as a producer for us and telling us, try that again, try something else.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
What's that? Put that down.
And it really helped us shape everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the big difference. It was great working with Will, but I mean, yeah, the big thing was just we had developed as a band and made it better because of that.
It was cool getting some pre-production for this song specifically as well, because with everything all the advice we got from Lil, I think we shaved like 30 whole seconds off of the original version of the song.
Yeah, which is a lot in terms of a song like this. Yeah, totally. And that was largely by his suggestions, and it totally worked out.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we changed ourselves, that we came up with, was from the Surge 105 Battle of the Bands, Rising Surge, the Rising Surge contest. I believe the final round when we played, and I was out watching the first band, thinking we should step up our game here. And we discussed in the back room of things that we could do, like mostly showmanship things, and it came to this song, and I thought about that very last chorus, those two hits. And I thought that'd be a really good place to do that for a little bit of showmanship, a little bit of kind of tightness of the band and of the song.
Yeah.
And we did it and kept that in the recording, and that's where that came from as well. And if I recall correctly, that was also the song on that night too, where we won that. We started the song, and my amp cut out.
Yep.
And I remembered, like, you sing, and I was trying to figure that out, and just as a Hail Mary at the end, I whack, and it came back on.
Played the rest of the percussive maintenance. It works every time.
Yeah, it did that time anyway. So,
yep.
Yeah, that played out reasonably well.
Yeah. This song specifically as well, I think, is very important to the history of our band for a couple of different reasons. It sort of going chronologically here. The first thing would be because when we had released it the first time, the version from Fang, I posted it to Reddit.
Yeah, that's right.
And a little while later, we got a message from, I believe it was Caleb. Caleb from Eardrum Valley.
Yep.
And he said, "Hey, this song sounds great. Would you like to work with us on a couple of things?" And we said, "Absolutely, we'd love to do that." And so that partnership there became the Try Your Luck EP from a couple of years ago now, and is also turning into the couple of singles that we're working on that'll be released later on this year.
Yeah, that worked out really well. I mean,
really great how that worked out.
Turned into a new EP at the time.
Yep.
It turned into over 100,000 streams on one of those songs.
Yeah,
on Spotify.
that was awesome.
And now 3 new songs that I don't want to toot our own horn or anything, but I think the new 3 ones are probably the best we've done.
Yeah, those are some really cool songs. I'm excited for people to hear those.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this song.
Yeah, back to this song. It's also the first time we ever had a music video done, courtesy of the wonderful people at the NSCC film program.
Yep.
And working on that was just a lot of fun from start to finish. Because the video, as it is now, very different from the draft that we went in with. Yep. And I would argue for the best that a lot of those changes were made.
Oh, totally.
Because there is a lot of really fun ideas that we had that sort of ended up on the cutting room floor. I think in particular of the original draft that we had was sort of just a protagonist going about his day and being interrupted by and bothered by that guy all the time, with the ideas that I thought were the funniest being trying to get some groceries at one point, and that guy just sort of showing up and squishing a loaf of bread as he was going to buy it. Which, as funny of an idea as that is, I can also acknowledge that it'd be kind of a pain in the ass to be in a grocery store doing that kind of stuff. I can see why we avoided that. And there was that idea did evolve into one bit that I am kind of sad we didn't put in the finished video, where after it switched to the roommate thing in keeping with the themes of the song, there was the idea of your character bringing home the loaf of bread, that guy showing up, toasting every single slice, putting it back in the bag and back in the pantry.
Yeah. That
would have been really fun to see.
Yeah, and it was largely based on the actual events. I mean, it's obviously dramatized.
Oh, yeah,
and, like,
of course.
The specifics are different, but yeah, that was the whole point of the video, was to kind of make fun of that whole situation.
Does that include the cheese? Or
no, I don't know where the cheese came from. No idea.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about it like a few weeks after the video came out, and somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody asked me about it, and I had no idea what they were talking about. I had to go back and rewatch the video to find it. But whoever's idea that was, it was hilarious.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, an idea that I was really fighting for a while, but looking back, I'm glad was overruled, was in the guitar solo section, because I believe you know what I'm talking about when I mentioned the video for Cold Shot by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yep. Great
Music video, one of my favorite videos of all time, but that video is sort of about Stevie Ray Vaughan's character is getting beat up by his wife a bunch because he's playing the guitar too much. And there's a bit near the end where he's sort of like in a full body cast from all that.
Yeah.
And he just keeps pulling out guitars or something until he gets thrown off a building near the end.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
And I thought it'd be fun if in the guitar solo you have sort of like a fantasy sequence where we get like a life-size dummy of that guy and just have you like throwing it around and chucking it off buildings and such, but I do understand that sort of goes against the whole it'll be a cold day in hell before you get the best of me. That's very much like, if you've thrown somebody off a building, safe to say they got the best of you.
Yeah. No, I liked doing that video in the final scene. We did that little kind of concert in the apartment thing.
Yeah.
And I had brought with me a little tiny, it used to be a little trainer bass amp, practice amp, that my friend Alan had gutted and turned into a Fender Champ, which is like a classic, legendary amplifier.
Yeah.
And I brought that along just to have something, because it bugs me when videos have like guitars aren't plugged in and stuff like that. So I brought that up, and one of the people living in the apartment had one as well. So I don't remember if I stacked them on top of each other to make a little micro stack or beside each other or what, but it was so funny that I couldn't not put it in. Doing so, that was ridiculous, because like we're trying to like put on a realistic show without making any noise.
Very difficult to do that.
Playing along to this little like Bluetooth speaker that somebody was following us around with, because we were above an actual coffee shop that was operating at the time.
And it was like 6 p.m., so it's like peak coffee shop hour, so we're like, we cannot make noise. Yeah, I've got sort of a similar thing for music videos where you can, with drums specifically, you can very obviously tell when people aren't playing, because if you touch a cymbal and it doesn't move, that's not making any noise. So it's very difficult to not do that. So I sort of had this strategy of I was trying to like flick the cymbals with my finger, but not touch them with the stick at all. Sometimes I fully miss, so there are a couple shots where the cymbals just don't move, but whatever. You know, I don't think it's going to come as a surprise to anybody that the footage of us in that video is not live. But it's also kind of funny that my kit I had to get set up on this little like ledge in the living room that was the whole thing was about half the size of this couch. So it was not enough space for a drum kit. I'm about as pressed in as I've ever been in my life at any point. I didn't even have room to put the kittle, you know the kittle, for the pedal for the kick drum, or the kittle for short. But and there was because right at the very beginning of the drum, or the drumming for the guitar solo, it's just the quarter notes on the kick. And I don't remember who it was that was operating the camera that day, but she specifically got a shot of me like tapping my foot along with that. And so we got to the end of that take, and I said, you're gonna need to cut most of that, because I'm just sort of tapping the floor there and there's no pedal on the drum. Like, it's one thing to be like tapping cymbals and they not move. It's another thing entirely to be tapping a pedal that isn't there. That was a bit too far beyond the suspension of disbelief.
If I recall correctly, we actually had to build the kit around you.
Pretty much, it was very hard to get in and out of that kit. But it worked out, the video turned out great, and everybody had a great time. So.
Oh, it was a blast.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun doing that. It was like I think it was 2 days, right?
Something
and
like,
it was just, well, I think we did the check it out and the costume and all that stuff one day, and then the actual shoot was another day.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but it was just 2 days of laughs and having a great time.
And eating a lot of cheese.
And eating a lot of cheese, of course.
Right on. Well, that is the story of Cold Day in Hell from our new album, New World Incorporated. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.